A while ago, I read this book, The Meditations of Marcus Aurelius. It's a really common one. A lot of people know about it, but if you don't, it's basically this book written by one of the greatest Roman emperors of all time. And this is just a collection of things that he wrote down in his journal. So he kept a journal with him all the time, and he just write in it. And what this book is basically someone who got his journals and translated them and just put them all in one book. So I'd imagine that if the guy was alive today and he heard about this, he'd be mortified and he'd be super angry at us. But, what the hell? It has lots of incredible lessons in it. And when I read this book, it opened me up to a new way of journaling. So I was already journaling in my little journal here, and I would just write down things that I'm grateful for, and I'd occasionally rant about something that happened to me at that instant. But after I started reading this book, I could see that he was also writing advice to himself. So Marcus Aurelius, he'd also do analogies. I think he'd talk about the bees and how they're always working, and that's what we should mimic as well. We just do our duty without complaining about it. So I figured, well, I should start writing advice to myself in my journal. So what I did is I just wrote. Sometimes I'd write advice to my future self, sometimes advice to myself in this present moment. Things like whenever I get an urge to play video games, I'd write down in my journal, okay, you have the urge to play video games, but you know better. You know you shouldn't be doing this. There are better things to do. And I'd just list down what I could be doing instead. And then I'd, resist the urge by choosing something from that list and doing that instead. Now, what I'm teaching, what I'm trying to say and teach in this video is you should be doing this. It just fixes your mind up. It allows you to write down things that are on your mind, and you can write advice to yourself. And the best part about this is once you've written down some things in your journal, whenever you write it down, what I've done is the things that I've written down that I like the sound of, and I think it's some good advice, I put it into another journal. This one's a bit fancier, but you don't have to get a fancier one. And this sort of serves as my own Meditations of Marcus Aurelius, like my own philosophy book. It's not like it's going to get published or anything, but I just started it in mind that, oh, well, if some guy 2,000 years from now finds my journal and he publishes it, I won't be pissed off. Something like that. And I think you should do it too, because this book here with your best writings, your best ideas, your favorite quotes that you've written in your journal, every now and then you can open it up and just read your own advice. You can be your own teacher, because it's never shameful to do that. See, here I've written down on the 30th of August this year, I wrote down, I am indeed grateful for failure, but you must learn from it. So what I'm writing here is just a quick little lesson saying that, okay, be grateful for failure. It's just a part of the thing, but you have to learn from it. So this is something that I think everyone should be doing. Everyone should have some sort of book of their best quotes and their best teachings for themselves or for someone who's reading it 2,000 years from now. But genuinely, it's a good practice that you should be doing. So with your journal, just give out some advice. If you've learned something today, write that down in your journal. Maybe perhaps you're learning from this video, write down, I learned that it's a good idea to write down my best quotes into another book, and then read that book some years from now or whenever you just feel like reading your own writing, and it's a pretty wholesome experience too. And then once you've gotten your best quotes, put that in a book. Put that in a special book, and if you want, you can write down the date that you wrote it in, like in the bottom. And you could also write down like a little heading over it. I'll show you what I currently do in this book, just so that helps you out a little. Okay, here we go. So you can see here that I've written down a page number, and I've wrote down like number 2, because this is like from the third, because I've written 3, like filled out 3 books already, because I journal a lot. So this is from the 3rd book, and so like the 3rd chapter. Fuck. So what I've done is on the 2nd quote, I write down like a little title next to it of failure, because that's what it's about. And then I wrote down, I'm grateful for failure, and you must learn from it. And then under that, I just wrote down 30th of August, 2024. And then under that quote, I've got the next quote. And it's a controversial one, so I'm not going to read that out loud. Unless I get 3 comments asking for it. Now that's a big ask, because I only get like 1 comment every 10 videos. Okay, that's a little off topic. But anyway, that's just an example. You don't have to do exactly what I'm doing, but just do something that works for you. The main principle of this video is for you to get your writings and just put it, like your best writings, and put it into one place. So it's your best lessons. It's not like if you want to learn from what you've written in the past, you're not going to like go through looking through your like actual journal, and you're just going to find yourself really angry about some guy that you saw on the street 2 days ago. You don't want to find that. Or maybe even your gratitude journal as well. That's probably not going to hold that much lessons every single time. Like for me, there was that one time where I actually had a good lesson when I was being grateful for failure. But if you just have your best teachings in one place and you read through that, you'll actually find that you are a pretty wise person in yourself. You actually know a lot more than you know that you know. That's such a brain fuck. And we are actually pretty good teachers to ourselves, because only we know us as good as, we know ourselves better than anyone else. Maybe our parents, but that's not what we're talking about here. And all of these lessons that you've learned, they all come from you. So they're all somewhat related to you. And when you read through them, you're probably going to benefit the most from them, because they're your own lessons. And maybe you are at like a really high point in your life and you've sort of like fallen off, and you can go through these lessons from when you were at your best, and you can learn from them and go back to your best. I really hope that this video made sense. If you have any questions, please leave them down in the comments. Check the description. You can send me a message in Instagram and stuff if you have more questions and you want to connect with me closer. You can join the Discord server as well. I have a couple things in there to help you that are not available on YouTube. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Subscribe to this channel as well to see more videos like this. Forgot to say that. And put your best lessons in a journal. For an actionable step, if you don't have a journal that you're journaling in already, buy one. And if you don't have like a spare book lying around, just buy one and put your best lessons in there when you can. Goodbye. That's